everyone, Craig Ripley here. This is going to be video number 5, I believe, in our series on debriefs from an Alaska trip. And we're going to continue to talk about the gear that we took and how it performed. All right, so for this video, what I want to do is cover the dry sacks, right? The bags that we took to carry all of our gear in, or at least I took. Peter had similar bags to me from DrySpec, and then Stephen, he had some that he got through Ducati. And what this is actually a D38. This was the top bag that I put on each of my panniers. I had one on each side, and I was carrying primarily camping gear inside these bags. I had all of my camping gear up on top of the bike, so it had easy access to get it off once we got into our campsite. So what these D28 bags are is they're 28-liter bags, but they're double-ended, right? You see, they're pretty long, and they've got 2 open ends in them, right? And they're basically a PVC canvas material, and you roll these up, you know, like so, and then you clip them down, and they're waterproof, and then they'll fit, you know, whatever you decide to put inside it. Now, one thing I do like about these bags is they have a lot of these little loops in them right here, where you can put your tie-down straps in. You can also take your strapping that you have excess, and you can run them back and forth through these and keep everything nice and neat and not flapping around. I know some of you commented about using Velcro closures and all kinds of different things to keep the straps in line, but the nice thing about these dry sacks is you can just use these things that are built in, and it keeps everything nice and neat for you. What I used to tie those bags down to my my panniers was these ROK straps, right? The ROK strap here got the little loop end that you put underneath the eyelets that come on your bag, and then of course the same thing on the other end, and then you've got a quick release buckle here, right, that keeps it nice and tight so you can cinch it down. All right, and again, these worked great. These works just absolutely wonderfully. I never had any problems with them all. I know some people talk about breaking some buckles and things like that, but again, I had none of that. I did carry some extra cordage with me, right, so that if in case any of these did break, I always had the cord to back up these straps so that I could keep things tied down, at least until I could get to a sporting goods store and buy some more of these things. But I never needed any of that. These held up really well. The second type of dry bag that I took was this one, and this is the D38 from DrySpec. That's, again, from Twisted Throttle. And this one, again, is a PVC coated canvas. And the thing that makes this a little bit different from other dry sacks is that there is an internal plastic liner, you see like this, that helps maintain its shape. Right, some of the other dry sacks out there, right, they you know, are just empty bags, and you just have to stuff things in them until they get filled, right? But this one, again, will maintain its shape, which makes it a little bit unique. This one is tied down a little bit differently, and I showed this in my previous videos on packing, but there's a little strap here that, again, goes around your rack, and then there's a little buckle here that clips into the buckle on the bag, and you pull that down tight. So there's one at each corner, so 4 in total, and it pulls it down real tight. Now, some people warn me about these things breaking, but I didn't have any of those kinds of problems. Again, I took some cordage so that if something did break, I had the cord as a backup. Again, I never needed that. I never had any problem with any of these tie-down systems. So as I mentioned, this is a D38, so that's a 38-liter bag. I do have a 60-liter bag from SW Motec that I was going back and forth on whether I should take this one or whether I should take that one. Now, in hindsight, I should have took the 60-liter. Not because I needed to carry more stuff, but it really would have been nice to have some extra space. As it was, we all were saying when we were on this trip that the one thing we should have packed more of was extra space, right? Because we really didn't have much room to go to the store and buy food and throw it in our bags and, you know, take it back to the campground and stuff. I mean, we just basically were packed to the gills, and that was the case with this bag. There was very little extra space in it. So I think if I would have had that 60-liter bag, then it would have given me a lot of extra space to get those kinds of things, groceries, 6-pack of beer, you know, whatever it is that we needed to take back to the campgrounds with us. So again, in hindsight, I would have carried that bigger bag. So how did these bags work? Well, they were awesome. I mean, they didn't leak at all. I never got any water inside them. I mean, they just performed exactly like you would expect them to. So I have no complaints with these things whatsoever. Again, other than the fact that you could have had some extra space. Okay, guys, again, that's it for this video on my bags. You can get these through Twisted Throttle, and I will have links to the American and the Canadian sites in the description of this video. So if you are interested in those, please do so by taking a look at them through our website on those two links. So I appreciate that, and we'll talk to you next time.